Welcome to Iona's Iotas, where the tiniest change can make the biggest difference. Today I am joined by entrepreneur, healer, presenter, author, and mother Aladin Ali, who has a fabulous and very inspiring story. Welcome, Aladin.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Iona. Thank you. I'm so glad
Absolutely
to be here.
amazing. This is so exciting for me because I've been on your show, Aladdin's show, a couple of times, and you're one of my inspirations for creating this show myself. So thank you so much. I'm like very, very grateful to you.
Well, thank you for that. So I'm glad I could help in some way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to have a wee chat about your story because you've got a very amazing and inspiring story. And I believe that our stories make up our reality, and our stories can either disempower us or empower us. So I would like you just to describe your journey so far. So where you began, your roles, your projects, and your passions.
Wow, I could be hours and weeks on telling you about my whole life here. But yeah, I was born in Dundee. My family background from Bangladesh, and my family had a kind of a catering business in Dundee, and that's where I was born with my brother and sisters. And I was brought up in around a family business, and that's where I suppose my passion kind of started. And my mum was a chef, my dad was a waiter, and they worked really, really hard in the restaurant. And so I was growing up in Dundee. So we moved to Glasgow when I was 7 or 8 years old, the whole family. And my father was in the restaurant business, and he bought another restaurant in Glasgow as well. And I remember just visiting the restaurant and sitting there and watching the customers and being inspired by my family. I suppose as a youngster, I was kind of, as I said, my father inspired me, and I really wanted to be in business. I didn't know what kind of business, but maybe catering business, I don't know yet. But that kind of motivated me to do some form of business at that very young age, kind of thing.
When you went to school and you left school, you went to university, didn't you, to study science?
Yeah. So I went to school. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then my thought was behind it was, okay, what do I want to do? So science came into my mind. So especially in an Asian community, there's two, you either be an engineer, doctor, or a lawyer or something, I think they still have that nowadays. You have those three professions, and my parents do. So I was kind of drawn towards kind of science side of it. And I enjoyed biology at school, physics and chemistry, and that's the side I wanted to kind of look into and do. I wasn't sure. I looked at getting into nursing, couldn't get in for some reason. I'm talking about a long time ago. Couldn't get into nursing. Applied for nursing, air hostess. Applied for that. Didn't get. I was too small for that, height wise. Yeah. At that time they had restriction. The criteria was so tight.
Wow.
It was amazing. And I can think I applied with so many jobs. It was. I went to uni. I left, but I had this feeling that I wanted to get more experience, out there. But I applied for. I remember making an application for so many jobs. I wouldn't get any interviews. That's how difficult it was to even get a job then. I left uni, and then I got a part-time job in the hospital as an auxiliary nurse. Got me some experience on that, and then I kind of went to social work as a mobile home help because I was trying to apply for other jobs. I couldn't get into it. I decided to go for mobile home help, and my plan was to be there for 3 months, and I ended up being there for quite a long time. I remember when I used to go to see my clients who doing the mobile home helps. They go and help the clients to make breakfast, lunch, and look after. And every single one of my clients said, "You're too young to be in this job. You shouldn't be here. You're not that kind of a lady. You should be doing this kind of job." I said, "Well, that's what there's no other thing I could do at the moment. It's just to make a bit of income." And I enjoyed that because, there were so many elderly people at home who didn't see their families or were alone, and it was just a bit of company and chatting to them, And it was really nice to just to get that, you know, connect with so many different people in that profession, all the different clients, you know.
And you were there for you worked there for 14 years, was it? Or was that?
Yeah. Yeah, I went home help. Then I applied for an internal job. I was in under Strathclyde Council, and then there was other internal jobs coming in because I was already in there. I managed to apply for occupational therapy side of it, and managed to get in there as well. My plan is to be there for 1 year. I wasn't planning to be there 14 years. Yeah, and it kind of from there kind of, you know, as I said, mentioned, I was there for 14 years. Great experience. I was a very shy person. You know, would not say anything, sit in the background, even at school, sit in the background, don't. I wanted to say something because I lacked confidence, but the social work actually brought that forward. I mean, I became more confident. So I see it as a stepping stone to development for me as well. And I'm also working with so many wonderful people and clients. And that's where it kind of started with helping people. I wanted to help people's, I saw so many people who were ill at home, lonely, mental health issues and all that, and disability. And maybe that's the reason that what I'm doing today is to do with health and well-being side of it. Kind of led me to that.
Why did you decide to leave? Because you left and you started another business, didn't you? What made you decide to give that up?
Well, I doing social work, I knew part of me that wasn't my purpose. I knew that was like a stepping stone. It came to a point that I wasn't feeling that passionate anymore. There's so many changes in social work. People were unhappy. The council was giving us overload of work and getting not paid well, and everybody was complaining. And I'm thinking, it's no longer me. I'm not feeling happy in this job, you know. And secondly, my passion was business. I had this dream and a vision, having my own business, being, you know, having and when I was in social work, I started a part-time business with my brother in a catering business. So I was working social work. I had my son who was very young as well. As a baby, used to leave him with my mom. And then after at 5 o'clock finish at social work, used to go to the takeaway till 1 a.m. So I was a delivery driver as well for the business as well, delivering. And we were doing marketing for the takeaway. So basically where I worked, it was quite near where I worked, the business. And my brother, I had a business partnership with my brother at that time. And it was long hours, but you know, it was getting out of my comfort zone. I was enjoying the business side of it, you know, running my own business. And but then I decided to just leave social work and fully focus on setting up a business. My colleagues thought I was crazy. The reason that I thought I was crazy is because, you know how people usually go to a business, they have a security that they slowly move into, where I said, I'm finished, I'm moving on. I didn't know what I was going to do. That's how I did it. I just jumped out. Some people say I'm a risk taker. I am. You know, I just go for it, you know. And that's what I did. I left the job. I didn't sure where the income was coming from. And I decided my aim was, okay, opening a jewellery business as well. had a catering business. But after running that for 3 years, my brother and I kind of went in different ways, and we sold the business. And I decided to open a jewellery business. At that time, I have left social work. And I realised there was a niche, there's a market for good quality jewellery, high quality end jewellery. And what happened was I thought, okay, how do I do this, right? How do I find the right jewellery? So I did a bit of research online. I knew there was exhibitions in Bangkok and Hong Kong. I basically sat there and booked a flight and decided to go. And so if I book it, I can't cancel it. I have to go, right? I cannot make excuses. So that's exactly what I did. I didn't know anybody. I wasn't going with anybody, never been abroad on my own, okay? And I thought, he's going to be okay. You know, if I'm going to meet manufacturers of jewellery, they will be there at the exhibition in Bangkok. you
That's
know.
amazing. That's brilliant. Like, I think, like, as an entrepreneur, you have to have an element of risk, being happy taking risks, like finding I don't know about you, Aladdin, but I get kind of a buzz out of it, like, because I know that what's for me won't go by me. So when you take that risk, you're surrendering, you're giving over it to the divine, to the universe, whatever it is. And yeah, taking risks, but also surrendering. So perhaps, like, you were booking that flight to Hong Kong and Bangkok and saying, I'm surrendering this completely to whatever happens. And so what happens with that business?
Well, I basically went to first one was Bangkok, and then funny enough, you said just releasing it. I actually met people on the plane who got me onto a taxi, who then went to the hotel. Then I met a couple who said, "You don't need to be alone here. We're here. And do you want to go out? Because we don't, as a woman, we prefer you to kind of be safe. So if you want to go out, show it." So I was actually with them, and so as you said, the universe looks at, and I was looked after, and I was only there for about 8 days. I actually made contacts with manufacturers, and made some orders, and actually bought some back in my suitcase, and whereas I actually bought a couple of diamond rings in a very cheap price, and I could have sold quite a lot. If my colleagues said, "Hey, if you went there," a lot of people said, "You should have bought us some." I thought, I never really thought of buying diamond rings and selling it for like £1,000 and buying it for £100 and selling for 1,000. But anyway, I came back with some jewellery, and the other ones were shipped to me, and I started selling it into call center. So I said, how do I sell this? So I thought, okay, I was going to a lot of fairs, a lot of events. I had the stalls. It was hard work, physical hard work, lifting things, setting up long days, going to calls, contacting call centers, because I knew call center had thousands of people in there. And I was in hospitals, standing in the canteen with my tables, with my jewellery. And I actually was selling it very cheaply. I had the boxes made with my logos. Everything was done, I did that all myself. And I was actually told my jewellery so looked high end that I was selling it cheap, The reason for that was I had a fear. Something in me said, or nobody was going to buy my jewellery, but I had great feedback, people saying the quality of jewellery was so high that it should be like £80-90. I was selling it for £10, So yeah, that was a journey of a lot of hard work. Then I had a couple of ladies, so I was thinking, how do I do this further without me putting more work into it? So I actually hired 2 or 3 women who were like party planners. So I gave them a kit of jewellery, and they went out selling for me as well, which they done really well. But I was facing issues with finding the right people who I could trust with my jewellery at that time as well.
Okay, so you left that business, or you set aside that business and start up a skincare business. So what made you, after working so hard on the jewellery, what kind of drew you towards something else, which was your skincare?
I think when I did the jewellery business, I made some money, but also I seen there's a lot of competitions as well, and I was kind of hitting walls about people taking some jewellery from me and not giving the jewellery back, and and I thought, I cannot. But I knew in my heart, and so that wasn't what I'm supposed to do. That was like a stepping stone to the next thing. But the time of the skincare came out, the Body Shop wasn't out that much. It was not known, but Body Shop, my mind is natural skincare is the future. I said natural skincare people would be looking for, but that time Body Shop wasn't that big or anything, right? And hardly anybody heard of Body Shop. And that is the time when I was thinking all about natural skincare. And during the time, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know the manufacturers. I didn't know much about what goes into skincare. So I was kind of putting in the universe, this is what I want to create, and I need help. I need investment, etc. And at that time, when I was going to Scottish Enterprise and all that, they looked at my business plan in a different way. They're saying, oh, we're into technology, we're not into health and well-being, we're not into all this. I said, no, it's going to be big in the future. No, we don't have funding for that. As long as you're a manufacturer technology, we'll support you. So there wasn't really much support in that side. So anyway, cutting the long story short, I managed to find an investor who, my aim was to meet somebody who understand my vision. So I met somebody through business networking, and he saw my vision and he said, okay, I could see this big. So I actually had a partnership with him. And what happened was that we got a bit of funding from Scottish Enterprise through in Edinburgh and all that. And a lot of things happened with that business. Later on, I found my partner was trying to kind of steal from me. And and 3 years of hard work went down the drain within a month, within weeks, I think, after I found out what he was trying to do and take my idea, take my brand. And so I was basically, all the years I've worked hard for it, I kind of lost it very quickly. So that happened. And then the thing is, I was back to square one with nothing, no funding, no product. And I think I wasn't depressed. I was upset for about a few hours after that. I think I cried for a couple hours. And the thing comes to your mind, what would people think? Sometimes, people know that I was doing business, and now this is gone. And I thought, no, I'm not going to be beaten. And the next day I approached Glasgow City Council. I put for funding for kind of creating a new skincare range under my new brand. That's what I did.
That situation that arose with your business partner, as heartbreaking as that was at the time, do you feel that was perhaps a good thing, or like something that, because it took you away from that path, that wasn't your path that you were meant to go down, so it was just kind of like realigning you to your path, and also teaching you lessons about like trusting others, or like putting faith in those who you perhaps have a bad feeling about? Like, what was your main feeling and outcome from that process?
As I reflected on it, I felt that it was a good journey. As the business, I traveled to India regarding the business. Amazing things came out of it. I've met amazing people who I'm still friends with through that business. He taught me about business partnership. He taught me that I need to be assertive. I need to say why, from my heart. And if I disagree, I need to say, no, this is not going to work. So it's taught me a lot about me, but also taught me that I don't need to be, not to get angry with that person. But I said to him, trust me, I don't need to do anything. I know universe will, a karma thing happens. I believe that, if you do somebody some wrong, it'll come back to you. And it actually did come back to him, and he's no longer in this world. And so that's the karma that comes back. I believe that, and I said I don't need to do it. So I moved on. But I've learned a lot, because every journey in my life, as I said, it's a huge book I could write about my journey, but it's a lesson. I look back as a lesson. Some people might say, oh, poor me, or this has happened to me. I'm like, no, that's a lesson. I see people putting more coal into my fire to move me forward. That's how I look at it. So. But yeah, it was a journey, but I've learned a lot, and as I said, it allowed me to open another company with my own brand, Aladins Collection skincare, and finding another company to manufacture, learning more about. I've learned a bit about the skincare. I could put that into practice for the second company, and I don't go back and say, oh, poor me. I think it's a great journey. I believe we're here for our experience, you know, more than anything. We need to experience things in life. That makes us grow. And to be an entrepreneur or to run any business, people think, oh, I'm going to have a bit of fun and run a business. You need to be tough. You need to really have strength, because you're going to get hit right, left and center. People will say things that you need to really ignore. It's nothing, you know. It is being tough. That's why not everybody can be an entrepreneur. It's not because they can't do it. It's just the emotional thing they have to deal with more than anything.
So during that time, you became quite spiritual. So can you talk a wee bit about that? About perhaps like, because you were brought up with a religious upbringing. So what made you decide to step away from that part of your life and into a bit more spiritual with meditation and things like that? Because that really set the tone for the next stage of your businesses, of your life, of everything.
Yeah, I suppose I've always been a black sheep in my family, I would say, because I looked like I knew there's more to life than what I was told in school, in family. Religion, I tried to be religious. I couldn't be. I tried my best, but it didn't work. I just felt there's something inner being was pulling me towards another direction. So when I was doing all my businesses and things like that, and then I went through a divorce, and I was kind of looking for a bit of guidance in my life. You know, I don't know what it was, because nowadays, if you want to meditate, you want to find spiritual stuff, you could go online, go to YouTube, you could learn from other people. It's easier. Before, it's like, where do you look? Where can you find things? And I was kind of guided, and I joined a group as well, and I wanted to know more about what I was seeking more than anything. It's not to be helping people, it's about myself. And I was learning about meditation and various other healing just for myself. But during that time when I was running my business with the skincare, I was kind of hitting walls. You know, I was trying my best, I was working hard, I was putting effort. People say effort. I don't believe in effort anymore. Get your energy right. That's the first thing I would say to now. But I found I was hitting walls. I was not moving forward. I was doing so many networking, so many business contacts, and I had a vision to take this to one of the biggest brands, and I still have. And I met a friend who is called Debbie. She was a business coach that Glasgow City hired for small businesses. And what happened was that she was mentoring me, and she asked me one question. She said, Aladin, what are you good at? And I think, don't know. She goes, what are you really good at? I'm like, someone who done so much business, I should actually say, I'm good at this. But my lack of confidence said, I don't know. She goes, think about what you're good at. And I said, well, I was told that I'm really good with people and I'm a good healer because I'm in this group. And she goes, okay, Aladin. And she managed to organize some people to say, Aladin, you sit there and start healing them. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you do it. And I just started doing it. That's it. I started and I was getting great feedback. I said, that's your key, Aladin, your energy, you know. So anyway, from doing that, you know, realizing that I could actually heal people through energy, I started, since I was having blocks with my skincare, I put my skincare at the side. I thought, you know, I'm going to leave that at the side. I'm going to come back to when I'm ready. So I opened the Healing Academy during that time, and did the place up and in the West End of Glasgow, and started getting people in to do healing sessions. And I've seen in 3 years, I've seen like few hundred people doing one-to-one sessions with them, and that enhanced my energy of healing. You know, it taught me more about my inner being. It kind of gave me an opportunity to strengthen my energy, my healing energy during that time of healing. I met so many amazing people. I was channeling things. It was just an amazing journey at that time. So yeah, that's how I got into it, through the healing side or the holistic side. Just putting my skincare side and going into healing to see what it leads me to.
And you had your healing clinic for 3 years, is that right?
Yeah, I had it for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And you just like, again, what you might say, how do I know? I decided one day, I said, this is not me. after 3 years of healing people, like, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do. And I said, I'm going to shut it down. I don't think like, okay, I'm going to shut it down because I need to move to the next level. That's how it looked. So what's the next step? The next step was I was trying with videos and all that, just like coming on, like the YouTube was on and people are new at YouTube, and I was just putting 1 or 2 videos up. And I thought, no, I want to reach millions of people worldwide. If I could heal somebody one-to-one, my energy could heal millions. I want to help millions of people worldwide. And that was my vision, to help millions of people worldwide. And that's how I left. I shut the Healing Academy and started kind of going into doing videos, started to do, talking about certain things and all that going on. And at the same time, I still had trying to sell my skincare at the side as well, started to bring that back slowly into it, because people were asking about my skincare who used to use it. Aladin, you should go back. That skincare was really good, kind of thing.
So you've got loads of things that you're working on this. You've got Aladin's show, which I'm going to put a link on to guide people towards it. It's an amazing show. I've been a guest on it a number of times. It's just wonderful. It's a weekly show, and you've also got your book on Amazon, which I'm going to talk about, Wind Beneath Your Wings. I love it. It's such a beautiful book. We'll talk about that as well. You've got your health business, and you've got your skincare business, and you're working on a few other projects as well. So what is your main inspiration in life, Aladin?
Main inspiration in life? Well, it kind of started as I suppose when you're younger. I was thinking as a woman, it was quite difficult in the Asian community to have a woman who was in business. I suppose as a younger, I just had this drive to be successful, a drive to be a woman, to be kind of known as a business person for my brains. A lot of women are known for other things, but I mean, there's so many wonderful women who are, great entrepreneurs and helping so many people. And I just wanted to be one of the women to be kind of not known, but I wanted to inspire other people as a woman. And I was doing it anyway, naturally, in my work, with the relatives, in women in the community as well. But I wanted to do it in a bigger way. So my father and my parents were the inspiration. My mom's an inspiration. She worked really hard, and she's just a lovely person. And so yeah, I think everything that has happened to me in my life has been an inspiration to move me to the next level, I would say. I don't think it's really one thing, My son is an inspiration to me, always there and helping. I think anything I'm doing now in life, I think is for the family, for my son, for his future as well. And inspiration for me to the things I haven't done yet. I want to do things in my life. So yeah, all that kind of propels me to keep going.
So when you were younger, your father passed away, and you were getting pressure from your relatives to marry, and you ended up getting an arranged marriage. So talk to us about that, about how that felt like, because you had all these goals and all these, because I know I work with a lot of women who have had arranged marriages and things, and they have their plans and their goals, and sometimes they feel as if that is being taken away from them, and they need to give up their dreams to become the wife and the mother and almost the caregiver of the man who is seen as being more deserved of the business and the life and the money and all this kind of stuff. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, when my father passed away, I kind of felt a responsibility. And there was a lot of pressure from the families to get married, because there was no man in the house at that time. You need to have a man in the house. So, yes, and I was introduced to somebody very briefly, a couple hours, and then next minute I'm married, within days. So that's how quickly it happened. If I had a choice, I would never got married. But saying that, I have my lovely son, so that's why I say everything happens for a reason. So, but the great thing about that as well, getting married, I mean, I was married about 14 years or so, and it allowed me to come out of my shell as well, because I've going to school and come to school, never been to the cinema, never done things, you know. It just, that was my life, you know. And then when I got married, you know, husband and I traveled, we, you know, and he introduced me to so many other things, allowed me to open my mind as well. But like many women out there, many women are not lucky, you know, maybe married to somebody who is abusive and etc. But whereas, you know, my husband was really good and his family were really good, and they were more modern than I was. I was more traditional, you know, and he allowed me to see things in a different way, you know, which was really good. And there's a lot of positive stuff. So yeah, but as I said, many women out there who had no choice, maybe in a marriage, who do have to do cleaning, cooking, which I didn't need to do that. You know, he respected what I did and allowed me to grow work-wise. But yeah, I put my ambition aside to help him, because I personally felt that I need to help him, you know, to succeed, because he needed my strength. I think he lacked strength, so I gave him my strength to help him. And in a way, I gave away my energy. And when you give away energy like that, and you seem to feel more empty and not satisfied with life. Whereas I think relationships should be balanced, you know. So yeah, it lasted a while after, you know, quite a few years, and I had my lovely son. But that, as I said, it's a journey as well. I don't have regrets, but I remember the one thing I did say in my book, that how did you decide to divorce? And one day I just sat like in the window looking out of the trees, and I said to myself, that's a question. I said, I'm very unhappy. Do I want to be happy for the next 40 years of my life? If I live that long? And I decided, something said, no, you don't need to be. And next day I went to the lawyer, my solicitor, and said, I want a divorce. And he didn't know how it was coming, to be honest with you. I just thought, if I'm unhappy, do I want to stay like this the rest of my life? I decided no, and that's how I decided to divorce him. I says, yeah, I do things very quickly, you know, because life is too short. You know, so I've met people who say, I'm very unhappy. 5 years later, they say, I'm still a bit unhappy. I said, well, you just told me that 5 years ago. You just wasted the 5 years, you know? So why waste time, you know? So this is how, I'm not saying people just do that. Obviously, people need to think about it, give a bit of time to say what they really need and if things could work out. I think I had all that time, but I knew my answer was, and definite. That's the reason I decided to move on. But there's a lot of Asian women out there who are in marriage. I know a lot of people who are very unhappy. Not many people are happy in marriages. The people I've met, I'm sure there are people, but yeah, so that's how it kind of turned out. But it was a journey. It's another part of my life, another journey, another stepping stone to the next level.
So what would you say to perhaps a woman who is in an arranged marriage, who has goals and dreams and ambition, and she's perhaps a bit stuck or a bit lost? Like, do you have anything that you could give them, a little nugget of Aladdin that you can give them to inspire them and, you know, really help them?
I would say to the ladies out there, if you have that ambition, and then speak to your husband first and see if you get support. Speak to your family and get support, saying this is what I want to do. Speak to your husband first and say this is a reason, because if you suppress the emotions, marriages have issues, you know, one partner. So I would say talk to the husband or the family members and say this is what I want to do. And now, yeah, they might not support you, but you have to really decide for yourself what makes you happy. You cannot make other people happy. I'm going to say that we think if we don't want to upset somebody, but it's actually going to make it worse for the long term. You know, I found that when you make yourself happy, you inspire other people to be happy. I am going to say honestly that when my family found out that I decided to say I'm not religious, I don't want to pray 5 times a day, because that's not who I am. I respect what you do. Please keep doing, but I'm not telling you to stop. I just want to follow my heart and soul. And honestly, okay, the family weren't that happy for a while, for years, but they loved me, they supported me, which is great. But because I was going in a different path, obviously they weren't that happy. But I stick with it. It was tough. I mean, I decided to not change my path. I decided to stick with it. And I would say to people, women out there, is they might be unhappy at the beginning, but you really need to follow your heart. And that's the only thing that was going to make you happy. And if you've got family, children, what examples are you giving it to your children as well? You need to think about that as well. Your children follow you. If you suppress your emotions, you're telling your children to do that as well for their future.
100%, Aladin. Thank you for that. So what are your thoughts and opinions then on where society and the world is headed?
There's a lot of growth going on. Some people would see in a negative state, but there's a huge change, a big shift that is happening in the world, and it's a good shift. To any shift to happen, things have to be moved, okay? And when you're moving things, it's like a big wave coming, right? So if you know a wave coming, you know how to ride it. There's a lot of people don't know how to ride it. So it's like saying there's a hole in front of your road, right? So you don't know there's a hole, you walk and you fell in that hole, and the next time you get up, there might possibly well be a hole. So you become more aware. So world is becoming more aware. We've been asleep for so long. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes, and what's happening is people are waking up, becoming aware, how they're living, who's actually controlling what. Do they want to live like this? Is that the future they want for the children? So there's a lot of awareness that is happening, that people are waking up, people are speaking up, which is a great thing, I feel. But it's more of a spiritual awakening, and I don't see things will be back to normal. There's no normal anyway, will never be normal, but I see a great change for the future. I see that people are really speaking up, and people during this time, what is happening, people are reflecting more of the way they work, if they're spending time with family, if they want to do something else. They may be working in a job for 20 years and they hated it for so long. Maybe this is the time they say, no, I don't want to do this anymore, and all those things are kind of, so it's a great time of change, development. As I said, it depends how you see it, how people might see it in a negative way. Fear, I think fear is something that will hold us back. And I think a lot of people are in that state of fear and only see love and compassion for others and see this as a journey, as another growth, a process that is happening in life. As I said, it's like my life process. I know I need to move to the next level of, this is exactly what's happening. People have to move to the next level of growth, of consciousness, of that is expanding. And some people will ride it smoothly, some people feel it really harshly, some people will just really feel it, and it could be a lot of emotional, physical stuff they will be going through, mental stuff. It's a lot of ways that people will be feeling this. It's better if people are aware this is happening and just know that this is going to pass, and know that everything will be just okay, and just allow it to happen.
So what are your plans and goals for the future then, Aladin? Because you've got your Aladin show, you've got your book, you've got your skincare, and you've got your health business. So what are your plans?
Well, again, the thing about plans is, I know I'm doing all this stuff. I'm enjoying it because I wake up every morning. I don't see it as work. It's like, I just want to do it, It's something I enjoy doing. I used to have a lot of plans and things, but I would love to see everything I'm doing be really successful. That helps a lot of people out there. I love to look after myself more. That's something that's very important to me now. If I look after myself, I can look after my family, I could look after other people. So I want to kind of do things for me as well, travel, go to certain countries I've never been, I always wanted to go to, but also at the same time work, you know, related as well. Meet amazing people, but also there's a charity I am part of at the moment, the Charity Education International, and we actually got a college in Bangladesh. We help about 1,000 students, and we've got a health centre, we've got an orphanage. I want to also get involved with children. I love kids. I've always been very close to children. I don't know, children and I get on really well. And wanted to kind of be part of an, you know, help an orphanage, to support an orphanage with my business and help the kids to have a better future. And that's something I really always wanted to do, and I think I will do it, and you know, through my businesses. But yeah, I just want to enjoy life, you know, most than anything. Enjoy life, just grow spiritually, become the best version of myself, because you never stop growing, you know. Just be happy in everything I do, everything I eat, people I meet, you know, dance, sing, just try different things, you know. Just, as I said, just enjoy life.
Just have fun. I think that is so important, and we all should really be doing more of that. We should all be looking after ourselves more and having fun, and trying to experience as much as we can, because life is just it's one big experience, isn't it? It's just a big show that we all kind of can have a play in. And so your book, Winds Beneath Your Wings, it's so beautiful, and it is the proceeds from this book go towards the school in Bangladesh. So tell us a wee bit about the school and what made you decide to support it.
Well, I went to Bangladesh quite a few years ago, and in the village where my parents were brought up, and my sister actually stays in Bangladesh, my big sister, with nephews and nieces, and so I was invited to go to the school, and what happened was I met these lovely children who were actually studying in this tin hut type. It wasn't even a school. It's like it's boiling hot, and as I went inside, it was so hot, and they were just sitting there with the books and the wooden tables and the wee chairs. Not even chairs. I don't know what they were sitting on, but it wasn't chairs. And they wanted to learn, so they were so keen to learn. That's a great thing. I could see children go nowadays to the West. They go to school, they expect it, but it's difficult for them to get education, and they were really blessed to have some education. And I was approached by the teachers saying, can you help us to build a school? As you can see, we don't have a school. And to be honest with you, I really didn't know how to do this. I said, I can't promise you anything. I'll see what happens. And as I came back, and I said to my university, I don't know how to do this. I didn't want to ask for money, you know, in a sense of charity. A lot of people to raise money. I didn't want that. I wanted to give something back, you know, as well, and raise the money from that. And something came to me that evening, because before I went to Bangladesh, I was actually channeling a lot. I was writing quotes and things, and actually left it in my drawer because I didn't know what to do with it. And it just, something in me came and said, take this quotes out and put it into a book. And I didn't have a clue how to put it into a book, and I didn't know anybody at that time how to do this. But I trusted the university. I know I'm going to meet the right people. I know. So I was doing business networking, and that's how I came across people. I explained about, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to raise money for the book. And they just basically came forward and said, we want to help you. Not with it. They weren't going to charge me a single penny. As you could see in the book, there's illustrations. And I found an illustrator who actually created the illustration for the book, you know. I said, I want the color of energy. I want this feeling. And he actually drew those, you know, specifically for the book. And it was a young man, I think he was in his 20s. And he wanted to give back, and I joined the authors group who helped me to put the book together, and had the quotes and everything. And I found an ex-newspaper editor who was so inspired. I said, Aladin, just send me the book. I'll just look at it, help, you know, to see how you could do. And idea was to just have the quotes, but she inspired me. Zella, put your story in between. I said, I don't want people to know my story. Because no, you need to do that, because people need to know who you are. And that's why it's very, very basic. I haven't put anything in detail. And so she inspired me to say, to put my story in between my quotes, a bit about my life story. So anyway, and within 8 months of thinking to get the book up and running, it was on Amazon, which people could buy, and the money initially raised, people just bought before Christmas. People like bought quite a few books for the family and friends, and I raised about a couple of £1,000 kind of just during Christmas, and then sent it to Bangladesh. They built one of the buildings. I didn't have a chance to go and visit, but they sent me photos and videos of it. And yeah, so that was, obviously they needed quite a lot of money to build, but I was kind of supporting part of the building because, and the community was supporting to get the whole thing done as well.
So how is it looking now? Like, so how long, when did you first?
That was quite a few years ago. I didn't have a chance to go, but I was recording. I keep saying I need to go because I have to go to Bangladesh. I like to go back just to see family, and I will be visiting the school as well. But the last time the videos were sent, they've actually built quite a big school. There's 400 or 500 kids. You know, at that time it was about 100, I think. There's about 400 or 500 when it was built new, and it was amazing. The building was amazing. I've seen the whole building. They sent me the video, so they've done really, really well. And they sent me the part of the money that was sent by the book, the building that's been actually was. So they need really support there. So I will be visiting them when I go back to Bangladesh, and that's the plan. I like to do more business in Bangladesh as well, to help people in Bangladesh as well. That's one of the things I want to as well.
I love that story, Aladin. I passionately believe that every child deserves freedom and empowerment and an education. And I think the more we start to become aware of how the previous pre-2020 world was working, wasn't really working, especially when it comes to children and children's freedom and rights and in education. So I think this is an amazing thing that you're doing, and I can't wait to find out more. So please go to Amazon and get yourself a copy of Aladin's book, and the money goes towards the school in Bangladesh. Yeah. And Aladin, please keep us updated with the process and how it's looking. And do you have anything that you can you can give us? So in terms of like a daily practice, something that you use every day to keep yourself inspired and feeling good. So is there anything that you can give us, a practical process?
I think, I mean, what I do is a practice of, before you go out of bed, just lying in bed, you know, because when we get out, we think we need to do this, do that, look after the kids, clean up, work, etc. I think you should take 5 minutes and just kind of have an affirmation saying it's going to be an amazing day. I just say, you know, everything is always working out for me today, wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, who I meet, is going to be an amazing experience. So having an affirmation for just not going out, just lying in bed for 5 minutes saying that will actually set your day for the whole day. I mean, I meditate even at night time before I go to bed, in between. I'm now becoming aware, becoming aware of my mind, what goes into my mind and the thought. I kind of have practice enough to like, no, I'm not even thinking that, anything. And appreciation of where you are, because I know we have goals and we've got plans, we want to be there, but appreciate everything around you at the present moment will actually get you to where you want to be. Okay, so that is something I would say to people. But also I wanted to say that in the business sense, what I have been taught, and I know there will be a lot of videos on this, people talk about effort and hard work. I would say it's a new world out there. Is effort and hard work is out the window, right? It's your energy is the key to achieve anything. Sort your alignment, your energy out first. When you do that, everything flows in very easily. Because I don't believe in hard work. I don't believe in effort. I believe in sort your energy out, because I am deserving of the best things in life, because a lot of people don't think they're deserving. I think you need to feel you're deserving. And I do feel I'm deserving. I know things are flowing into my life easily. I want to wake up and find money in my bank account, you know. I don't want to really work hard and then, oh, I got £100 working like 20 hours. I want to wake up and say, oh, 2000, yeah, perfect alignment. That's how life should be. And we have, all of us, every single one of us in this world has that ability, you know, that energy to do that.
I could not agree more, Aladin. We have both witnessed our families and our friends burning out and working really hard at this old system that's no longer suiting us, no longer fitting us anymore. And you and I are big proponents of the new paradigm, and the energy and vibration and frequency of what you put out is what you get back. Laws of physics, like it's been here for forever, but only now in 2020 is everyone like, oh yeah, maybe I can work from home, and or maybe I can just relax and get things done, be more productive in that relaxed receiving mode than I was in a putting all my energy out and just working and working and working, and getting to the stage where you're literally being born, going to school, working, retiring, death. I don't want that life. Like I want to go travel places, and I want to lie in a hammock on a beach somewhere, lie on a yacht. I want to have all these amazing experiences. You know, wake up in the morning, step outside, jump in my swimming pool, which previously was only available to a very select few on the planet. And as the energy changes, we're all realizing that, well, hold on a minute, what is the difference between who I am and who they are? Thoughts, energy, vibration, and you know how you feel about yourself and what you think about yourself. And I think we should maybe have another call, do another interview, a discussion later on about the new paradigm and how we can like really shift and work in this new relaxed, attracting, receiving, allowing mode, because I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Like it's so exciting for me. And it must be for you as well, knowing that we both worked really hard in the past, and now we're like, nah, I'm just going to sit back and let it come to me. You know?
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you have any last thoughts, Aladin? Any last words that you want to pop in before we sign out?
Well, I just wanted to thank Iona for inviting me. It was lovely. I usually interview other people, but it's really nice to get interviewed, because I think a lot of people don't really know the story unless they kind of read the book, and it isn't really important if people don't know much, so it's not. But I thought, if hopefully some people maybe get some inspiration from listening to this with the interview with you, and but if people want to ask me questions later on, please do contact me. I'm sure they could contact you, and you want to pass on the details. But it's been a really, really enjoyable day with you. But I want just to say to everybody, to stay positive, stay uplifted, know that everything is going to be okay, and just keep smiling.
Yay, amazing. Thank you so much, Aladin. And I'll pop all your details under this video. So if you want to find out more about Aladin, purchase your book, watch your show, please do. This all amazing, positive, uplifting stuff. So thank you so much, Aladin, again for joining me today. And thank you so much for joining us. And I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.
Bye.